If you're a veteran player, then you might know that TKS was rank 1 in the high scores for the year back in 2002 and 2003. You might also know that she was the first player who managed to reach level 99 fishing, which she achieved in May of 2002. Well, here's footage of TKS achieving 99 fishing yet again, but this time 20 years later in 2022, and the story behind that is one I would very much like to tell and one that is dear to my heart. So the footage you're seeing here is not actually TKS's account, instead it is one of my other accounts. So why do I have the name TKS, and am I trying to impersonate one of the best players of the RuneScape 1 era? I'll say right away that the answer to the second question is of course no. I have an immense respect for veteran players and their achievements, so I would never ever impersonate them. So what's going on here then? Well, in 2014, I tracked down TKS and reached out to her. Earlier that year, Jagex had released over 50 million display names as part of what was called the name cleanup, as you can see here. Pause the video if you want to read it. At the bottom of that same thread, it said, "You can submit display names which you believe should not be released." So that's what I did. In this thread right here, I ended up submitting a list of names, even with an explanation for each of the most historically significant names. TKS is one name that I submitted, but unfortunately Jagex ended up releasing that name anyway. So as I was saying half a minute ago, later that year I reached out to TKS and I told her what had happened. I also told her that I had taken her display name just so that no one else would. I offered to transfer it back to her account at the time by changing my own display names, I believe twice, so that the name TKS would be freed up. But being afraid of sniping bots, we figured that the only way this could safely be done was through Jagex's intervention, so we posted this on the RuneScape forums. This screenshot shows a thread I made at the time, and these 3 posts were added later on in the thread. The top reply is my main account, the bottom reply is my other account that took the name TKS, and the middle reply is the real TKS. I removed a part of her display name just for her privacy. Pause the video and read the whole thing, please. So as you could read, I had previously succeeded in having L6V's name restored to the original account. He is another legend from even earlier, around 2001 and 2002, so that is why we were hopeful that Jagex would help this time as well. Unfortunately, they did not, and that was the end of that at the time. Then almost 4 years later, in October of 2018, TKS reached out to me on Facebook, and let me read her message. "Hi, that's my name. Rap had told me how you have the TKS name, and I just wanted to say thanks for nabbing it. Unfortunately, the last time they took my name off my character, they refused to give it back to me, even though the person was safekeeping it for me as well. I can't recall if that was you," yes it was me by the way, "or if they zapped the name again. Either way, thanks for trying, I appreciate it." After receiving her message, I thought that maybe we should try this again, to which she agreed, so I contacted Jagex through Twitter with a message to ask exactly that. You can pause to read if you want, but it's not really essential. Long story short, the community team told me they would check with the support team, but they weren't willing to transfer the name. So I turned to the community team again to point out that TKS's name wasn't supposed to have been released in the first place back in 2014, referencing that thread of whitelisted names. Hearing that, the community team suggested that I, instead of them, try with the support team again, as the situation might be handled differently then, so that's what I did. As expected, however, the outcome was the same. They didn't want to do it. Although we were disappointed by that at the time, we tried to rationalize it by just assuming that in the end it might be better that the name isn't on her account, as it would probably be safer to have the display name on an account of which no one can ever guess the login name, because to transfer the name you would need to know the login name first, of course. Anyway, so I got 99 fishing on that account with her name for 2 reasons. First reason is just to honor her, which is also why I couldn't get myself to level up by using a lamp, and why I did it instead by actually catching a fish. The second reason is to raise awareness, and as a reminder to be careful with meeting famous veteran players in the game, because a lot of names were released, including some names of veteran players, and although I would never claim to be one of them, the friends chat of the account even says so by the way, Other people might have different intentions and they really might try to impersonate legends from the past, and that would be very, very sad and pathetic, by the way. Just to give a few examples of other famous veteran players. Also, the names Alchemon and Blue Rose 13X aren't on the original account anymore. Also, L6V's name was originally released. In retrospect, I sort of regret that I requested to have the name transferred back to his account, because I later learned with confirmation that his account has actually been in someone else's possession for almost 20 years now. So I hope you found this an interesting video, and I hope it's a reminder that the names mentioned in this video aren't tied to the original owner anymore. So keep in mind that that might be true for other well-known names of the past as well. To end this video, a quick reminder that you are free to join my Facebook group called RuneScape Memories. We are close to reaching a member count of 100k, so that's a lot of RuneScape history in one place. Thank you for watching this video, and I promise that it won't yet again take a few months for me to release a new video.